John did everything right. He went to school, got a job, worked hard every single day. But at 34 years old, he had $27,000 in credit card debt, no savings, and lived paycheck to paycheck. And the worst part, he had no idea why he was still broke. This is not just John's story. This is the story of millions of Americans, people who work hard but never seem to get ahead. But one day, John discovered something that changed everything. A simple truth about money that most people never learn. And once he understood it, his life was never the same again. John lived a normal life in a small U.S. city. Every morning, his alarm rang at 6:30. He dragged himself out of bed, half awake, staring at the ceiling for a few seconds before starting another day. He rushed through his routine, brushed his teeth, grabbed his keys, and stepped into traffic. That felt endless. Cars lined up, horns blaring, everyone going somewhere, but no one really moving forward. He sat behind the wheel, tired before the day even began. At work, he sat in front of a screen for hours, clicking, typing, repeating the same routine. His coworkers talked about bills, stress, and how fast money disappeared. Lunch breaks weren't relaxing. They were just a pause before more work. By evening, he drove back home, watching the sun go down through his windshield. Another day gone. Another day closer to payday, but also closer to more bills. He walked into his small apartment, dropped his keys on the table, and collapsed onto the couch, exhausted, drained, empty. Every month, he earned about $4,200. On paper, it sounded fine, but in reality, it was never enough. Rent took $1,500. His car payment was $450. Insurance ate up another $300. Food and eating out cost around $600. Subscriptions quietly drained $120, and minimum debt payments, $800. By the end of the month, nothing was left. Sometimes it was worse than nothing. Sometimes he was in the negative. So he did what most people do. He reached for his credit card. At first, it didn't feel like a problem. Just small things. Groceries, gas, maybe dinner once in a while. I'll pay it off next month, he told himself. It's not a big deal. But next month came, and nothing changed. So he used it again and again. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Months turned into years. The numbers started growing. 20% interest. 22%. What started as convenience became a burden. John wasn't just spending money anymore. He was paying for his past. Every swipe of his card felt normal in the moment, but quietly, it was stealing from his future. Still, he kept going, because no one ever taught him how money actually works. No one explained how debt traps you. No one showed him why most people stay broke. So he kept repeating the same cycle. Spend. Pay minimum. Repeat. Until one night, everything changed. John sat down and opened his bank app. He stared at the screen. $42. That was all he had left. His next paycheck was still 5 days away. His credit cards were maxed out. There was nothing left to use. And then his phone buzzed. A message. His car had broken down. For a moment, everything went silent. No thoughts. No solutions. Just reality. For the first time in his life, John felt completely stuck. Not lazy, not careless, just trapped. That night, he couldn't sleep. He lay in bed staring at the ceiling, his mind racing. Numbers, bills, stress, all circling endlessly. The next morning, something inside him shifted. For the first time, he asked himself a different question. Why am I working so hard and still broke? Not blaming his job, not blaming the economy, just asking the truth. That question changed everything. He went online and started searching, watching videos, reading articles, learning things he had never been taught before. At first, it felt confusing. But then, something clicked. He realized something most people never understand. Most Americans aren't broke because they don't earn enough. They're broke because of how they use money. That truth hit him hard. He saw his own life clearly for the first time. He was spending before saving, financing a lifestyle he couldn't afford, living in a system that encouraged him to spend more and save less. He wasn't in control. He was in a cycle, and that cycle was designed to keep him exactly where he was. That realization changed everything. For the first time, he didn't feel hopeless. He felt aware, and awareness gave him power. Then he discovered one simple rule. A rule so basic, yet so powerful. Pay yourself first, before rent, before bills, before anything else. At first, it sounded impossible, but he decided to try. He started small. $100. That was it. When his next paycheck came in, he moved $100 into savings immediately. It felt uncomfortable, almost wrong, like he was taking money he needed for something else. But he didn't stop. The next time, $200, then $300, then $500. Slowly, things began to change. He looked at his expenses differently. Subscriptions he didn't need, gone. Eating out every week, reduced. Impulse purchases, eliminated. For the first time, he had a plan. Every extra dollar went toward his debt. He attacked it with focus. Month after month, progress. It wasn't easy. There were moments he wanted to quit, moments he felt tired, moments he questioned if it was even worth it. But he kept going, because now he had something he didn't have before: control. Months passed, then a year. And one day, it happened. His credit card balance hit zero. No more debt, no more interest, just freedom. He sat there staring at the screen, not stressed this time, but relieved. He had done it. Then he started investing, small at first, but consistent. For the first time in his life, his money was working for him, not the other way around. His apartment felt different, brighter, lighter. He slept better. He smiled more. The stress that once followed him everywhere slowly disappeared. He wasn't rich, not yet, but he wasn't broke anymore, and that changed everything. Because freedom isn't about millions of dollars. It's about control. It's about peace. It's about knowing that your life is finally in your hands. John walked outside one morning, not rushing, not stressed, not overwhelmed, just calm. For the first time in years, he felt okay, and in that moment, he understood something deeper. Most people stay broke not because they're lazy, but because they're stuck in a system that rewards spending and punishes saving, a system that makes debt easy and discipline hard. But you don't have to stay there. Like John, you can escape. Not overnight, not instantly. It starts with one decision: to stop living on autopilot, to stop repeating the same cycle, to take control of your money instead of letting it control you. Because at the end of the day, it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. And once you understand that, everything changes. If this story opened your eyes, make sure you subscribe for more financial stories that can change your life, because the life you want starts with the decisions you make today.